This is First Person Plural on KFAI. Produced in partnership with Miniculture and McGizzy Communications. Inspired by the radio archives of the nationally syndicated Native American radio program, First Person Radio. In this story, The Red Schoolhouse.
In the early 1970s, Native American youth were experiencing discrimination in the Twin Cities public schools that created turmoil and high dropout rates. This led to the creation of an alternative accredited educational place named the Red Schoolhouse.
Being at Red Schoolhouse, you didn't have anyone telling you you couldn't be who you are. You couldn't be Anishinaabe. You couldn't speak your language. We were encouraged to delve into every aspect of our life as a Native person. Bushu ninde nuwe maganiduk. Wabanu kwendishinakas, wabajay shin tu dame, abading ayukwaka be madeo. Anishinaabe ojibwe kwendao, minwa onda disike kwendao, gaye medewana kwendao. Asabi kone sagai ganing ndunjaba. My government name is Doreen Day. We were always known as the Red Schoolhouse, meaning red for our red people, and that it was a home. I graduated from Red Schoolhouse in 1977 with honors, and I continued to be a presence and stay connected to the services within the building and all of the community and cultural, spiritual events that took place.
The Red Schoolhouse began in February of 1972. The idea was hatched by Doreen's mother, Charlotte Day, a concerned parent, St. Paul American Indian Movement Executive Director Edward Benton Benet, and developed with members of the community. First Person Radio interviewed Edward Benton Benet in 1976. This is Edward Benton Benet.
So our relationship with the public school system in St. Paul has not been one of romance. They had threatened to pick all the kids up from the school and charge them with truancy at one time. And when that call came, we sent out a call to the Indian community, and in about 40 minutes there were like 250 Indians that surrounded the building and dared them to come and get the kids. And we knew, too, that we had a responsibility to live up to, and that was the maintaining and enlarging of the school. And
people did identify themselves as activists and supporters for civil rights. And it wasn't necessarily labeled a survival school, although I always felt it was one. The FBI had files on all the students because at the time they thought they were trying to teach us about guerrilla warfare and crazy stuff like that, when in all actuality, all we wanted to learn was our spirituality, our way of life, and our language, our ways of being in the world.
Edward Benton Benet.
We started with 37 kids on the first day. We have a present enrollment of 126 kids from K through 12. The growth of the school has been fantastic.
Red Schoolhouse was a moving, shaking kind of place. Within that building on 643 West Virginia in St. Paul in the Frogtown, basically a ghetto community, it was a place for people to come and be together and support one another, sing together, pray together, laugh together. There was a community. It was a school where you could be Indian and you weren't penalized for it. You weren't beat up or you weren't discriminated against.
Edward Benton Benet.
It's a Native American culture-based curriculum. We teach everything from the Indian point of view, Indian perspective. And the philosophy of the school, of course, is that of Indian self-determination.
We had our reading, writing, arithmetic, but we also had our language, teachings about types of seasonal sustenance, things that our people did. In the fall, we'd go racing. In the summer, we'd go berry picking. We learned how to hunt. We went fishing. We made maple sugar in the springtime. So we did all of those seasonal things as a part of our original curriculum because that's who we were. I'm less broken because I was there. We have trauma upon trauma just being Native in this world today. And I am less traumatized because I have tools to heal myself. And it was an empowering place. It was a place where knowledge was eternal. That was the thing that was on our building. It said Red Schoolhouse, the road to knowledge is eternal. And I still believe that to this day because I'm still learning today. I'm 61 years old and I'm still learning. It was a really beautiful place.
For KFAI, I'm Dixie Treichel.
This is First Person Plural on KFAI, supported by Magizzi Communications. This work is funded in part by the Minnesota Humanities Center with money from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund that was created with the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008.